Alrighty, happy campers, it's Artisan Glimmith, etc, etc. Just so tired. We'll get there. It's gonna be done soon. I just gotta finish this area. So watchtower section here, we want to be Jewel. I've got 16 puzzles to do, so there's no way it's happening in one video because these are the harder puzzles, and it would be pretty unreasonable to assume 16 hard puzzles could be done in about an hour. Of course, this one isn't a harder puzzle, I just missed this one. Range 4 to 7. Let's see what we got. So the watchtower rule, in case, you're not religiously watching everything I do, it's counting the number of regions. So for instance, this 2 here, I can do something like this. These are 2 separate regions, but I couldn't do this because that's now 3 separate regions touching here. So you can't have that happen. So over here we got 1 region, so I know we can do this right there. This can just be 1 guy. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Right here, these both have to be the same region. And I think the only way is this, because the range tops out at 7, and that is 7. So there you go. This can only have 2 regions, so it's actually going to be this here, because that's 7. So both of these are complete, which means we know that this guy is just 1 set, and all of this is 1 set. Huh. This is 2 regions, so this one here has to be like that. Range is 4 to 7. This has to be at least 4. So now we have a new set here. This has to be at least 4, so it's going to come out. This has to come out at least that far, which means this has to be done here, because otherwise we're going to have a problem with that. So now here, this has to be at least 4. Oh no, hold on, I see what we gotta do. That's just 1 region. Now up here, we need this to be... this has to be 1 region. Let's make it yellow. There we go. Now this has got to be 3. So this one here is going to be its own thing, and we have a new region here. It's got to come out at least that far. If I bring this blue over, we're in trouble, because now these 2 have to be the same region. So this has to move up. This has to move, this is why. Here's why. So this area right here has got to be its own region, like so. Well, now we can only have 2 regions here. This makes 3, so that's got to move up. And, oh, that's just done. Okay. Excellent. I like that one. This area is very hit or miss to me. Sometimes the puzzles feel like they're just rage bait puzzles. There's just not much to do. And other times I'm like, oh, that's actually quite clever. Okay, well, we'll start with that. That's got to be filled in. This is going to be a tricky bit here. Hold on. We have a 4 here. These all have to be different regions. This one can't just be an O shape, because we can't put an O shape there. So we actually have to make this a P shape. Can we make this anything else? No, we have to stop it because of this. Right, so we have a P shape here. Which means that, okay, this is just going to be a regular thing. Right, those are just going to be solo pieces. These are both the same region, for sure. So whatever this is the same as that. This has to be a P shape. Oh, and this P shape is going to move this way, because if it moves the other way, we break this. This is that. This piece here, let's make it different colors, make it just regular green. Now we got to have a duo here. Domino. These both have to be the same. So we can't have that be the domino. So the domino is going to be there. And then there's going to be at least a domino there. But these 2 have to be different. We've already got 3 regions here, so this does have to bend. And it can't move that way, but it could move... No, if it moves this way, we're in trouble, because we'd have to go like this. Actually, that's fine. If I had an elbow here, right, this elbow's not going to work, because now that's not going to work. This has to be 1 region. But I can't make it just a regular L, because that won't happen. So it's got to be an L going this far, but we've hit the furthest we can go with that. Get the other word. So we got to bring that around like so. This has to be here. That's got to be there. Now we just have to have a different... It's just going to be a single thing, and then here's got to be another domino. That. Neat. See, the thing about having these hidden puzzles that are easier than the others is it does sort of to mess with the progression. Like the way this game's going, it's mostly open world. You do a couple puzzles in every area that are tutorials, kind of in the order that you're forced to do. And then everything pretty much just opens up. The only real way to feel any sort of sense of progression is to do them in order of the difficulty, because that's the only thing the game is telling you before you jump into the puzzle. Before I choose a puzzle, the only thing I know is how difficult the game says it is. There's no other progression to it. Now, of course, I run into lots of problems where there's elements that if I were to choose, like the order I've chosen, I do a puzzle that kind of requires knowledge from a different puzzle, but there's no way to know that. And so I do a puzzle and it's harder than I think it should be, and then I do a puzzle after it that actually would have taught that thing I was supposed to do. That happens way too much in this game. But the other thing is that with these hidden puzzles, since they're at lower difficulty, you're more likely to miss them. So you'll do these puzzles in a difficulty order, which feels satisfying. You'll end with the big 7 puzzle, and then you'll realize there's more puzzles left. You'll look for them, and they'll be the easy ones, and it's kind of unsatisfying. I don't know. I just find that the game is basically forcing you to pick which unsatisfying option you do. Either you do the tab button here to show the hidden puzzles, and so you're not looking for the hidden ones, the game's just telling you where they are, and then you do them in the difficulty order so it's satisfying there. Or you want the satisfaction of finding puzzles yourself, but to do that you have to rob yourself of the satisfaction of doing them in a pleasing order. Like, that's just what you have to do. Why would you design the game to do that? Did you not think of that? Maybe you just didn't think that's what happened? Just, there's so many baffling choices in this game that just piss me off. What are you doing? Okay, well, these all gotta be one guy. These have to be blocked off. Over here we have the same deal, although we don't have to block this off. We could take one more space on either of these. Well, I know we've got to have separate pieces there. This one, oh, we have 2. Well, it can just be, okay. Yeah, we got to bring this all the way around. But we can't bring it through there. We've got to bring it through here. Oh. Okay, this is going to be a long region. So this cyan region has to be there, because it can't be the purple. This has to be 3 separate regions here. So to get this cyan region there, we can't drag it through both of these. So we have to block that. So we got to come through here. But now we can't go that way, obviously. But if we go this way, now we could never take this piece, because then we won't have 3. We have to take this piece with the cyan region. So now we've got to go this way. We've got to take both of these. We can't move in, obviously. But now we have to have 3 regions here. So we got to take this one, but we can't take that because then we'll overload it. So we got to do this, and the same thing can go there. So we have to take this one. Now, we could bring it... we can only take 2 possible things here. So we got to come all the way around. Oh, I see. This is actually quite clever. Huh. Gotta come up this way. Now, if we went here, we wouldn't be able to go up, so we do have to move up through here, which means we have to take all of these, and we have to go in this way, like so. That's got to be the big region. And so the rest of this we can fill in with whatever we like. This needs to just move in like that. That's complete. That's complete. This is its own region down here. This is its own region, and that is its own region. Now here we have another solo region. These all have to be separate regions here. And then we have to have our own. Interesting. That's a cool one. I like that one. Oh, we got one here. Got another 4. Okay, so right away, we can just fill that in. This is its own single region. We only worry about area numbers. The rest of this we don't care about. These all have to be separate. So now this has to be one region all the way around. This could move down 1, we're not totally sure. This 4. Is there anything this 4? There's a lot of possibilities for the 4, unfortunately. This could move down, and then we'd have 2 separate regions, or we could block it. This could move out. This is just a duo. Is there any way we put a wall here for the 8? I don't think so, because then, yeah, we just can't fill it in. So the 8's got to take these. Is there any way to put a wall here? I don't think that either. Because the most I could do is that. So we got to take this. What else can I gather from this? The 4 still has a lot of options here. Oh, this 5 is done. This 5 can't attach here, because it'll be at least 6. And it can't attach there. Oh, hold on. No, it can attach just barely. Damn it. Thought I had that. I could, otherwise I could say the 5 is this, but if it attaches here, it's... it can't attach here, because now this 7 is nowhere to go. So the 5 is this. The 7 now could attach here. It has to, otherwise it has nowhere to go. So I gotta add 2 more to that. This 6 now has to take these 3. This 3. Wait, hold on a second. There's no way to make this 6 work out. Or the 7. This blocks the 7, and maybe the 5 is a part of a different one, but how do I make that work? Or is the 6 a part of one? Okay, I've just missed something. I've just taken something wrong. Let me back out for a second. Let's just take a better look at this. Let's start with this guy, since I know this one has to have the walls. Let's just make our regions there. So, that's all there. This region could be bigger. We can even do something like this. That might be where it is. I think I made an assumption here I shouldn't have made. I assumed that we were done with it. We're not. We can even do that. This 5 cannot attach to the yellow, though. This one's got to be its own thing. So now, since 5 can't attach to yellow, it will have to extend this way. There's no way it doesn't. So that's blocked and that's blocked. The 7, therefore, has got to come out. Now, if this comes downward like that, but I got to make the 7 work. The 7 could be part of this region, right? That could be it. Because if it isn't, if we say the 7 is not, if this region isn't the 7, the 7's gonna have to touch in this area. So this area is just purely between these 2 regions. So it could be this way or not. But now the 6 here will have to go through there. And now the 7's trapped. The 7 be trapped here, and the 5 is nowhere to go. So I think from that we determine the 7 is in fact connected to this region. That's how you do it. Now the 6 could easily just be this one. That's not that bad at all. Now let's bring this back to yellow now. So this is a little more distinguished between the yellow and the red. This 8 probably is going to attach to here, but we don't know for sure yet. So this 6... I don't know if I'm going to take this or not. This just feels right, but I don't have a way of knowing that for sure. Because, like, I can have regions that aren't in an area number, it'd be fine. So I gotta figure that out. So this 8 here. Once again, we can't put a wall there, so we gotta bring it up. We can't put a wall here, so we do have to bring this up, but it might not be that region here, which I'm gonna change to yellow. 6. It could be this region, is the thing. If I made it this region, I'd have to block that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that, right? So if I put a wall here, I think I'm screwed. Because then the 6 still has to fill in. I have to fill in at least 2 more spaces up here. Right? If I did that, and it would have to be these 2. Yeah, we don't have enough space. So this has to be part of the 8, which means this is not part of the 8. Is that right? Or could I do it with a wall here? I could do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like this. Ah, now this has to be its own thing. And we don't have enough. We don't have enough. Unless something like this. This works, right? See, this type of... Oh, this just actually finishes the puzzle, so it's that. That was weird. That was weird. It's fine. It's just, I don't know. It felt like I just was guessing to solve it. It's just how it felt. So now I don't immediately see where the other puzzles are. Oh, they're all gonna be hidden in these things. There's a 5. Oh, let's do a 5. Let's do it. Precision, so that's nice. Okay, well that's gonna actually give us our O shape right there because, well, we can't get more than that. Gemini and Delta as well. So I gotta have an O shape here. So it can't be that, so it's gotta be this. So now these have to be the same thing. So either an I or an L shape here. I gotta come up that way. If we had this, yeah, it has to be an I shape. These both have to be the same thing. Could have an O shape here as well. Not sure. This has to be different. These have to all be the same. So we could have an L shape here. L shape there. T shape. T shape wouldn't go there. It would go there. S shape, go there. I have a lot of options with that one. Is there something I can glean from this? Obviously this can't go here, so that's got to be a wall. Can't do that either. That's got to be a wall. So we can go up, we can go down, we can go down, we can go over. There's several options. This just tells us we can't have an S shape here, but what it would give us would be, it would give us an L shape there, which would give us an L shape here, which has multiple ways. This option would force these two together, but it still gives us a lot of things. This would be a strange one. This would have to be a T shape. We could just easily do that. This would be a very restrictive shape. We'd have to do that. We'd need an L. We'd need to block these, but there's a lot of ways to do that. It's restrictive, but I don't know if it's correct. Okay, let's look somewhere else, because I'm pretty sure this isn't what's going to be. Now, if I put this here, it's fine. If I did... Something's up here. If I move this over, then I have to make an O shape, which would put a wall there. That's fine, right? It's fine. Oh, hold on. If I don't make an O shape here, what can I make? Right? Let's think of the other shapes. S shape, it would just be this. It's not going to work. T shape also isn't going to work. I shape won't work, so it could be an L shape. Now, this is one way to make it if it's broken. The other way is this. But if I make an L shape here, I have this. So that we do have, in fact, another O shape right there. And we got to put a wall here. So these have to come out. This could be an I shape, but force an L shape here. Or it can be an L shape, which would force what? Something like that, something like this. It's totally fine. These all come out. This has come out. I can do this. I can make a lot of things with that. Okay. This definitely is a different shape. What's that mean? If I make this the I shape, this has to be L. That has to be L. And then these have to go together. These would all have to go together, be another L. Don't think this would be possible. Now we have an L here. It can't bend this way. It can't bend that way, so it would have to be like this. Trouble is what goes here now, because we need a shape here with a wall. So now we need an O shape. So I don't think this is right. I think we have an L shape here. Means I gotta do that. Means this has to be an L shape. Can't be like that. It's gonna block in. Can't be here, so it has to be this shape. So now we need something else that's just separate. So this is gonna be an S shape like that. I think this all works. We got another L shape here. This is all gonna be L shape. Which is what it is. So we gotta block that. We gotta have an L shape here and a non-L. So I'm pretty sure we got an O shape right here. That's really all we can do. So L shape here. That's one way. That's one way. What would be the difference between these? This one would allow for different shapes. We gotta have this. We gotta have that happen. So if I had an L shape like this, we'd be in trouble. So it has to be like this. This doesn't work either. No, maybe this isn't a O shape. What else could it be? These has to be blocked. Those have to be blocked. So yeah, the O shape's the only thing that fits here. Then we have this. Well, there's just not enough. There's not enough here. We couldn't take this piece, and we have an I shape. There's no way to put an I shape there. So we'd have to put the L shape like this. Then we'd have to put an L shape here. Would it go this way? No, it doesn't fit. It has to go this way. Now this doesn't. Oh, this fits. This fits. Like so. And now we have another L shape here, and then we just put an I shape. Okay, that was fine. It wasn't my favorite. It was fine. There's just a lot of them. Not my favorite, but it's fine. Just over and over until we all die. So tetrominoes again, mingle shape. That's nice to know. So these all got to be one. These all got to be one. These all got to be different ones. These can go together though. I don't know. This can go here. Can't go there because that leaves an orphan. This can't go here, leave an orphan cell. This can't go there, leave an orphan cell. The mingle shape is telling me something. If I bring this in here, I've got 5 pieces left. So I could... if I moved this in, if I moved this over to the right, we'd force this piece to be here. The reason is if we don't, then we have 4 left. We have to make this an O shape, and it's next to an O shape. That's illegal. So if I moved this over, we'd have to block, we'd have to make a T shape here. Which does what? Now up here, we'd have to fill in 1 space. It couldn't be this one, it would have to be that one. And that's fine. This is all fine. I'm trying to break it. If I blocked this one, we have to move it up. Now, if I blocked it and moved it this way, 3 pieces left. There's no way to fill it in, no matter what I do. So if I move it up, I gotta block it again. And then I'd have to move it, but I couldn't move this way. I'd have to move that way. It'd be forced to an L. I'd be forced to an L. That's not gonna work. So I think, yeah, I think we have to move this here. We have to block that, so we have to have a T shape. Which means this can't be a T shape, this has to be the I shape. Over here, we have a new shape which has to be blocked, which means this is an L. This is an S shape now. This can't be an S, so we can't fill both of these in. This can't be T, I, or O, so it's got to be S or L. Well, that's the only 2 it can be anyway, so that's not really helpful. If this was L... This would be, actually L would work. L would just work. L would just work. And here's what we got. Now we just put a T here, and you can see this puzzle solution writes itself. Nice. That was actually kind of nice. I like that one. Oh dear God. So with our, we've got to start with our Windows logo here. Then what? So. Oh, these both have to extend because of the mingle shape rule, which means we got to put a wall there because we got to have 3 regions. This one could extend, but if so, then it either has to extend that far or that has to extend up, so I'm not totally sure. This one... these all have to be separate regions. I see. Well, I don't know. This could be that region. But this now has to be a solo. It means this can't be a solo region. It's got to be a double. Okay, this does have to extend up now. So it can't bend. So these have to be 2 separate regions, which they're going to be. This one has to be 2. It could be a 4, but it can't be a 3. So over here, we We gotta do some tricky stuff there. This is a solo. So if this doesn't extend as a 4, this is a new region that has to be a 2, and we're in trouble because they're next to each other. So that is a 4. Let's see, this has to be at least a 2. How about this one here? This can be a solo or a double. Just fine. If this were to extend out, we would be in trouble, I think. No, I could make this a single. I know I can't do that. This can bend up just fine. This can move one way or the other, but it can't be both. Anything else I can see here? Here. This spot. This spot is susceptible. So I can take this piece. It can't be a double, because that's a double. It can't be a triple, but if it were to go larger, it would just break that. So it's got to be a single. This piece now can't be a single. It's got to be, but now it can't be larger than a double. We're in trouble there. So now this piece is next to a double and a single. Has to be at least 3. Like that. It could be a 4. We don't know. All sorts of things could happen over here. If this is a 3, this has to stop at 2. If this were to move up, it could actually move up and become a 4. This has to be a single, so we need to move these out at least that far. This space here is next to a double, but it could be a single. This could just be a 5, and we would just not have a problem. This could move up, this could move down. Let's see. What do we got? This could just be a new region. It's fine. If we didn't bring this region up, if we had a new region here, right? It's next to a 1 for sure, so it has to be at least a 2, right? Which means this is probably going to be a single, right? Because it's next to a 2, 3, and a 4. Yeah, it would have to be a 5 if it wasn't, so it's probably a single. That's great. Now this is a double. It can't bend, so we have to have a region here. This region would have to be a 3, which means this would have to be a 4. This is a new region that could be a 1. Yeah, because it can't be anything else. That seems fine. If I do bring this up, we got a 2, a 3, and a 4. This still has to be a 1. Yeah, is there any way this region's a 2 or a 3? If this region's a 2, yeah, this region can't be a 2 or a 3 or a 1, and it's not gonna work. If this region was a 3, it'd be next to a 3. It can't be larger. So this is a single region. This means this can't be a single. It's got to be attached here, which means that's a double. It means this is a triple. Great. These two have to be attached. But they're not the same region. Let's do this real quick so I make this green. So now... Actually, I'm going to swap these real quick. I'm trying to not put the same color next to each other. So one of these moves in. Not totally sure which one. This could be a single here. If I move this up, I'd have to make a quadruple. This is a single, so whatever goes here would be next. If I made this a separate region to the green, if I made this a different one, it couldn't be a single. Be a double's fine. Now it's next to a double. So it can't, it would have to be, yeah, so this has to move up, and then it can't bend, so that's got to be a double. So here we're next to doubles. We have to block this, so this has to be a single. That means this can't be a single. This has to move up, which means it's got to be a quadruple, and we're done. Neat. I really like that one, actually. I'm going to give points to the devs on that one. Good puzzle. Let's try. How many more we got? Couple more I can fit into this video. We'll see. We'll see how well they go. Okay, we got more tetrominoes going on. Yeah, I'm glad this was here. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know where to start. I've mentioned before, like, if I guess I'll say it this way. If let's suppose there's two puzzles, both of which take me an hour. Puzzle number one, it takes me 59 minutes to get the first move, and after that the puzzle falls into place. Puzzle number two, it takes me 2 seconds to get the first move, but it still takes an hour to solve the puzzle. The second puzzle is the one I'm going to like because I have work to do rather than sitting and staring at a board not knowing what the hell I'm supposed to get done. So there's that. It's gotta come out. Then, fine, this comes out, fine there. Now if I were to do this here, I certainly wouldn't have that. Something like this or something like that would be acceptable. Something like this is also, yeah, I guess the things I can make an L shape. I can make an S shape and break the puzzle. So no, L shape, T shape, L shape. Those are my options. So if I did this one here, this yellow shape would have to move to the left, because if it didn't, what we do here, we couldn't move that in, and if we would overload that, so these would be together if we did that. If we make this shape is to come out, and now there's nothing it can do. It would have to go like that. Not so far so good. If I made the L shape like this, we'd have to make an I shape here, which would be fine. That would just be 100% fine. I think I have the same thing here. We have a different set up there, though. That might change it. So I can make an L shape. I can make an L shape there. I can make a T shape. The L shape here, I might actually be able to have a different shape there because I can just do that. An L shape, L shape this way breaks the puzzle. So we can't have L shape there. So we either have this L or this T, which means we do, in fact, take this. If we take the T shape, this one comes up and then it takes 2 more spaces and it could take those, or it could take these, or these. Oh, hold on, we got an L shape, yeah. So if this is a T shape, we can't have that. We'd have to have this, or that, or that. There's still a lot we can do. Excuse me, but it does mean that this shape's got to be different. So if I know that this is an L, for instance, I know that's a T. We can start, if this is an L, I mean I can always just bring this over. But if this is an L, we'd have a T shape here, which would mean that we'd have to have that. And then this shape would have to come out this way. This shape would be attached here. And then either go there or there. Yeah, okay. So yeah, let me walk you through that. I was just looking ahead for a bit. If I have this as a T shape, this shape here, it's got to extend out, right? But this is a 3, so I can't take 2 more spaces here. I can only take 1 more. So either I go this way, block that piece in, or I go this way. Now if I do this up here, it has to move out these 2 spaces. And now because this is a 3 region, we have to move it that way at least. We can't make this an I shape. We have to do it here. Now here's where we run into some trouble. This shape, we'd have to put a wall here because this shape's got to come through, right? So we have 2 problems. Problem number 1 is that this shape can't be that. It has to be an L. So we have a problem. And we have a problem down here, even if we get rid of that. Because this shape's going to come out. What goes here has to be that. It's going to make a T shape no matter what we do. Therefore, it's not the T shape. It's an L shape for sure, making this forced to be the T shape. So over here, we don't know what we're going to do with it. We just know it's not a T shape, but we can make an S shape, we can make an I shape, I can make an L shape here. No, if I make an L shape here, we have a T shape. So this isn't an L, it's either S or I. This is fine. This is fine because we have that, right? No. That. I don't know. I was just guessing. This would force these 3 together, which is fine. These 2 would be its own thing, or it could be its own thing that way. I don't think I have an answer for that. This is still that. I shouldn't get rid of it. So this can't be this can be an L in a couple places though. If I did it this way, we would definitely have an I shape here. What would that give me? This would be a problem. this doesn't work because of this shape up here. How do I make this shape 3 regions? So we got to think about what this shape is right here. If I move it up, well, it can't take either of those. We're done. So it would have to move this way. But now this shape can't be its own thing. It would also have to move. So our L shape is here. Now this one, this can't be a new region. This has to be the yellow. I think I worked that out, because if it isn't the yellow, it's going to move up, and then it can't move to the right. It has to move to the left. Now it can't take that space. It can't take that one because it overloads that region. So the yellow's got to move in there. I can still can't bring that all the way up there, which means this one has to be taken. I can make this the O shape or the S shape. Those are my options. This can take one more spot there. Yeah, this space either moves to the right or it's its own space here. This is possible. Dang it. I don't think it's right, but it's possible. Yeah, this, whatever's up in this corner here is either going to move all the way this way or all the way that way. This isn't possible, though, because then we'd have to fill that in. So we have an I shape coming down, or over here we could have either shape. Of course, if we put something like this in here, this would be a problem. I don't think we can move this to the right, because we got to put walls here. We got to have separate regions. This is a new region. It's got to come down. Well, if it, regardless of whether it goes here, it's going to go there. Well, now this has to be a new region, so that's not going to work. So we do, in fact, have an I shape here, which means all of these have to be different. This is an O shape. But no, this doesn't work either. Oh, hold on. There's not a thing here. I can put these two as the same region. I don't have to put a wall here. Just put a wall there. This would break the puzzle because I'd have to have an I shape or an L shape. Then what do you do? So there's no wall there. That's gonna go like that. Let's bring this out. Yeah, we have a couple options here. Let's see. I've got 2 regions. I can bring this up. Is there any way this doesn't touch here? If I were to put a wall there, I'm going to have a 3rd region here. This would have to come out. This would have to come out. And we'd be screwed. Yeah, I thought this would happen. We got to have this going on, but we can't have that. We have to have this be an L shape. Excellent. So now this comes out, and it can't go that way. So I have an S shape. This is another I shape. This is, yeah, we got it. We got this. Right? No! This shape. There we go. I was worried I totally screwed it up. But I didn't, because I'm not that stupid. That's a good one. I like that puzzle. I like the feeling of being able to work on something. I don't like the feeling of staring at a thing and having to spend 50 minutes guessing at where the start of the puzzle is. That's what I don't like. Okay. So, what? This one's not going to be that hard, I don't think. It's just kind of a bit of a... This is something. We got to stop. That's got to stop, because if we take any of these cells, you'll take all of them, and we already have the circle. So I know these are different. Now, this could easily be up there. I guess I can think of this as every 2x2 section is just one thing. So every time you take one, like this is the path, for instance, that sort of thing. These two got to be different. These two have to be different as well. And this is not the yellow. This could be the blue. Not sure. I'm going to make it a different color. I'm going to make it red and make this the greenish color. These are different. Yeah. So this can't be that. This can't be that. This can't be that. These are all different colors. These two could potentially be the same. Actually, let me count how many regions we're going to have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regions. That's the max amount of regions. This region can't be that one, or that one, or that one, or that one. So it's possible these two are the same. But I know for sure... Okay, I'm going to call this region A. This one for sure cannot be this, or that, or that, or that. This one is separate. I'm going to call this region B over here. This region can't be there, it can't be there, it can't be there, and it can't be there. These for sure are their own. This region here cannot be that one, that one, that one, or that one, says region C. So these two I don't know. Is there any way I could figure out another thing? This region here cannot be B, it cannot be A, and it cannot be C. It also cannot be this region, but it has to be that one. So this is region D. These go together. That makes this E. Excellent. I think I got that. Okay, so A needs to get the region that has a triangle and a, whatever you call these things, a diamond. That's got to be A. Region B has to get a circle and a hexagon, so region B is down here. Region C has to get a square and a hexagon, that's C up here. Region D is blue and it's got to take these two, so we know that, and E has to take these. So now it's a flow-free puzzle. What is the path through this now? Something's gonna come through. What if I did? I have a feeling this will not move down this way, because then what's this space doing? Right? If I move down this way, the B shape has to come out. And now, no matter what I fill in here, the puzzle has the same solution. So I'm going to say no to that. I'm going to say that's going to be there. So either the yellow, the A section, or the B section is to come through here. If I brought this through, right, I would have to go through all of this. Now, what would I do with this section? I don't think that's going to work either. I think I want to bring B through here and D around the back. Then the yellow goes up. No. Hold on. There might be an easier way to figure this out. I just haven't figured it out. Yeah, this can't come up because no, this could come around down the bottom. Right? If I bring this up and I brought this around the bottom, this wouldn't come back up. This would come around here. And then this would have to escape up here. But now whatever's down here doesn't matter. So I don't think that's it. I think, you know, there's going to be one solution. So that's not where this goes. That would mean this goes this way. Which would mean in order to prevent there from being multiple solutions, I'd have to come around this way. Now once you're on the edge, you want to stay on the edge as much as possible. So this would come all the way around there. This would have to come around this edge. That means this would have to come around this way. Which is, yeah, this is it. This is just it. Okay, there we go. I'm sure that was being able to done with that. I'm sure you could do that without guessing like I did at the end, but I just don't give a shit on that type puzzle. Okay. Do I want to do one more in here? What do we got left? Let me just try to clear out anything that's not super hard. Let's get this 4 out of the way. See what we got after that. Precision 16. Well, 16 times 4 is 64. So these are the 4 regions, and these are the 4 regions. So, let's start with this. This has got to come out. This all has to be red. Okay. Whichever one this is, probably. Yellow's got to get here somewhere. Now, I'm going to assume yellow's this one. If it isn't this one, that means we have a region that isn't. Yeah, let's suppose this is red. Well, now, there's no way for yellow to get any of the other regions without cutting red off. Do you see what I mean? So yellow's got to be this bottom region, like so. And it's got to take those. That gives it 16. It's done. That means red has to take this, probably? Not necessarily, but probably. These are all one region. But that doesn't tell me anything else. This here's got to be the green. It's got to go. Because if it isn't the green, if it's anything else, then green's got to be one of these. It's going to cut that one off. So green's got to go in here for sure. That's 14. I can't fill that one. Could fill one of these. But it can't be this because then it'd be all of them. So this one's going to be blue. This one's going to be red. Where would I add more green? Gotta add 2 more. It can't be there. Could be one of these 2, but only one of them, and it could also be there. Now, if I did this, I'd have to do something like that, which would be, no. Pretty sure I gotta bring that one in and bring that one in. Like this. Now, how do I make this work? Because I got 16, 16, 15, 17. I gotta figure out how to make this work better. Let's see. Probably there's something weird in here. Let's just check this again. So we know, yeah, I can't get this to be anything but green. Because blue getting in here would cut it off, and red getting in there would cut it off. It's green. Can't take those. Can't take that. I think there's a lighter green. I think we have to take these. I would give another red somewhere. Maybe red is in here. There it is. Had the right idea, just had a wrong piece coming through. Alright, that was not very interesting. Do I have something a little more interesting we can end with? Not a 6 so much. Do we have one that's a little bit easier? Let's do this 3. Let's end with that. Let's start here. Because that's all going to be filled in. Means this will also be filled in. This will also be filled in. Gotta have a wall somewhere here, either there or there. If we had the wall here, we'd have to fill all that in. And then this would be the wall, and then we'd fill all of this in. Which is certainly doable. If we put the wall there, we'd fill all this in, and then we'd have to put the wall here. Yeah, I'd put a wall there, which would bring those together. We'd put a wall there. Which means we do this. This would also be a wall, but we could put a wall here, or what? Oh, this would have to also. Yeah, this piece here. If we put the wall on the bottom, let's make this a lighter blue. If we put the wall here, we got to take this. Well, now this is broken because we can't put walls on both of these, right? So we have to make it part of the thing, but now it doesn't have anything. So the wall actually has to go there. We take this. The wall goes here, like so. That's the wall as well. This is here, this is there. Now, we could bring this in. I don't know. Can I go any further? If I take this piece, I gotta do all that. And that's the wall. Hold on. If I move this, if I don't put a wall here, then I have to bring all these up. Now what goes? This all has to be filled in. This one's broken. So I do put a wall there, which means I put a wall. Yeah, these two go together, so I can't bring this up because then I have to do all of this. So there's a wall there. Now if I were to put no wall here, I have to take all of these. That's the wall. That's easy. But that means we don't take this one. Because if we take this one, we can't take that, so we have to take all these. Now what do we do with that piece? So we would take this one. I don't know if that would give me it. If I take this piece, I take all of these, and then I'd have to put the wall there, so I'd have to take these. And then this is broken here. Right? If I take this piece here, we have to take that one as well. So no, that's not taken. These two go together. Now, if I take... Let's do another color up here. Let's do this one. Gotta take that. So just take these. All are taken. This is just broken though. How do I make this work? Right? These all have to be one thing. Well, now that's all one unit. This is all one unit, and this is all one unit, but this is busted, right? No, it's not busted. That's just the wall. It means we have to have a wall here. I have to sneeze again. Excuse me. Good grief. Now, back to what I was doing before I was rudely interrupted. Can't take these. This can't go there, right? No, this could. This could go down. This piece... If we take this section here, we can't put a wall there because we already have a wall. So we'd have to take this one. Couldn't put a wall there, so we'd also have to take that one. So yeah, we can't take that piece. Gotta be blocked. Now, what do we do with the other things? Not doable. Ah, I have to put a wall here, because this corner piece, duh. This has to be blocked in. Which means that these can't go together, so this is where the wall is. So the wall isn't here, which means that there has to be one there. That's blocked off. So this red section is done. So I'm going to make a nice light blue section here. This has got to come down. Take all of those. This one already has a wall, so it's got to take all of these sections. This is different. That already has a wall, so we have to do this. This already has a wall, and so we're broken. Oh no! Hold on. Right? This all has to be one unit. So this corner piece is done, right? This is different. This has to be one unit. So we can't have these two go together because then we'd have those go together. So yeah, these are like so. Then we can't have another wall. We have to bring this down. This all has to be there. Great. This is the wall. This is the wall. This is the wall. What do I do here? Let me just look at this space here. Let me just make this space work. We gotta take all these, then we have to take all these because this has to be the wall. But then this has to be the wall, unless this comes out like so. Yeah, that's right. This is done now. This is, I guess, all blue because this already has a wall, so it's got to be like that. This has to come out. So this section is its own thing. Now, this corner piece could be like that. If I brought this... yeah, if I connected this, we'd have to have the piece like that. We can't have that. So that's blocked. This, if we had a wall there, it would just be like that. Hold on, this is all one. So if I block this off, now this all has to be filled in as well. So this piece has to be here. Which means that's that. These all go together as their own region, right? There. Alright, I guess. Very odd. So I have how many left? There's 5 left. I'm not doing them all now. I've been playing for an hour. I'm going to stop. But what am I going to do now? Where are the ones that are left? There's a 4. There's a 4. There's a 6 down here, I know. There's a 7. And then there's what? What's down here? A 6. Okay, those are good. We're going to leave those for next time. Alright, that's kind of hit or miss. Like, some of them are just, Alright. Yeah, it's not my favorite area. And in a game this large, once you get a game this large, my patience runs out for areas that I only feel meh about because they're just padding. So we're going to do some more padding for the next several videos. See you then. Bye.